When you're trying to attract wealth in your life and build abundance in your life and get a lot of good blessings in your life, but it's not coming in, there's a reason for that, and it's not your fault. The world has literally programmed you to be on the grind where you're constantly working, you're constantly spending, and you can never get ahead. And basically, where you have more bills, more stress, more struggle than than you want to have. You're not experiencing wealth and abundance coming to you so fast and so quickly that you have a hard time spending it all because you got more and more coming in. There's a reason why a lot of us struggle. Is we're all programmed to do it. Even the whole system of going to school, for all the way to your grade schools and graduating, they're programming you to be already a worker, a grinder, and a person who takes direction and a person who follows orders. The schooling system was made during the industrial age, and the farming industry age, when they needed workers, they needed farmers, they needed people to be doing agriculture. And that's the reason why they have bells in schools, is like in a factory when they blow the horns, and when it's letting you guys know it's time to be a slave, it's time to go to work. And they have another bell that goes off for lunchtime, and another bell that goes off for recess time, a little break. They're literally already programming you to be compliant and to work. And the wealthiest people out there are the people who invest in themselves, the people who start businesses. And school does not support you doing that. They 100% support you getting a 9 to 5 job and working your whole life. And so, because of that, when you're done school, they say encourage you to go to college. Encourage you to go to universities, and in these universities and colleges, they're a business. They're a business to make money. They want your tuition fees. They want your book fees. And they want you to spend money to get you prepared for a job. Maybe that you start off at what, 50,000 a year, 60,000 a year, 100,000 a year, and now you have this amount of student loans and things you got to pay off for a number of years before you can even breathe, before you can even put your head above water, right? And so hopefully, during that time you find a partner that can help offset some of that, but then your partner is often in that same position. And then here's what they do: is they want to keep you in this cycle, they want to keep you in this matrix. And so they get you working a job over and over and over again until you're like 55 years old. Then that time, eventually you get to retire and finally enjoy life. You get to finally experience a little bit of abundance. But the thing is, now you accumulated bills, you got a house, you got all the stuff that you're paying off, you got your toys, you got your cars, your vehicles, and you have to pay that off. But now when you retire, that the income you're making with your job, maybe cuts in half, because now you're getting retirement income, pension income, and you have to drastically lower your lifestyle. And this is if you haven't learned about investment, if you haven't learned anything about abundance throughout that time to prepare yourself for retirement age, that you're struggling. And that's why we see a lot of these older people working at McDonald's. We see all these older people working in A&W and fast food jobs and Walmarts and things like that, is they got to sustain their life, they got to figure out how to continue to make money. And so they're not even retiring anymore. And now they're dealing with medical bills, they're dealing with constant trips to the hospital, because we've been fed into this program to literally kill ourselves with fast food, to stay in this matrix of struggle. And they do it through news, they do it through watching the news and reading newspapers and things like that. And they literally program you through school to live in a struggle and to be in a struggling life. And once you unplug from this matrix, and once you unplug from all the programming that's happened to you ever since you were young, all the way up to however old you are now, and you unplug, you're able to be liberated and you understand the truth. And the truth is, the world is abundant. The world is, our nature is all about abundance and prosperity and wealth. And if you look at nature, you could see, um, you know, I'm just surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of trees here. There's trees, there's in abundance. That's the nature of our world, is just these trees are going to spread seeds, during the fall. when the leaves fall and they start budding, all these seeds are going to fall around to form new trees. And the grass does the same thing, and new stars are being created all the time. Our world and universe is naturally in a state of abundance. There's a quote that I love. It's called, from abundance he took abundance, and still abundance remained. And when you think like that and you unplug from this 9 to 5 world that we've been programmed to work constantly and constantly, just to pay other people, to pay our rent, to pay our grocery bill, to pay our power bill, our electric bill, and never really feel in a state of extreme abundance, you want to get out of that. And in order to get out of that, you got to listen to the truth. And that's like videos like this, where you unplug and you start reading about abundance. You start surrounding yourself with people about abundance. You start thinking differently. Also, the thing is, you got to stop a lot of things. You got to stop listening to the news. You got to stop watching the news, stop listening to the radio, and give yourself a mental fast from all that negativity that's been programmed to you, and start replacing that with powerful messages. Go on YouTube and look up Jim Rohn, look up Wallace D. Waddles, look up Nightingale, Koenig, go look up, Robert G. Allen, look up all these wealth people, Robert Kiyosaki, Tony Robbins, and start consuming your mind with new knowledge. Because what's going to happen is, you have to erase all this poverty consciousness that's been fed to you. You have to literally replace that, because your identity now is absorbed with all that information that wasn't serving you, that says in order to be successful you got to work a job and go to school and get a degree and grind your whole life just to finally retire when you're 55. When I was young, early 20s, I didn't buy into that program, and I started listening to the thing like The Secret, and started learning about the law of attraction, and listening to Bob Proctor, and my whole life changed. And I've been able to attract this big, giant $1.2 million home, because of these teachings. I don't have a degree. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I would consider myself average, but I constantly educate myself with self education, with books on abundance, with books on wealth, and I surround myself with people like that. And I've been able to literally remove my poverty consciousness, my poverty beliefs that I've had, all the programming that this world tries to keep you in, and replace it with wealth, replace it with abundance kind of talk. So I want to let you know it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility right now to start taking action, to remove all that negative information that you have. Even limit yourself, hanging around with friends and family that just talk about problems, talk about negative stuff, and start just surrounding yourself with positivity. So here's how my day goes. I usually wake up, I meditate, I work out, and I listen to powerful audios. And then throughout the day, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all the blessings that come into my way. I send love to all the people that even don't like me and that I maybe had an issue with, and I send them love mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And then I read, every day. I read a book, a chapter or a couple pages on prosperity and wealth and abundance and good things and things I'm working on, like my relationships and being a good dad, being a good provider. And then when I drive, I don't listen to the radio or music. I listen to a podcast about, being a better person, enhancing my life. Or else I listen to Bob Proctor or a powerful YouTube video. And then I do this throughout the day, and I'm constantly feeding my mind, and I'm surrounding myself with good people. My phone calls I have are with people who are in line with what I'm talking about. My conversations are a lot like how I'm talking on this YouTube video. We talk about the opportunities, we talk about wealth, we talk about prosperity, we talk about all good things that happen. And this is what you got to do, because every single day is a battle. They try programming you to stay average. They try program you to stay, in the struggle. And so it's your job every day to combat that by giving yourself great information every single day, to learn about abundance, learn about manifestation. I visualize, how my life's going to be. I close my eyes and I visualize it. I write it down in my journal. And then the more I do that, I literally always step into that reality. I step in that reality of my beliefs and my standards. And it's such an amazing thing to do, and it's such an amazing thing to practice. So with that, I want to say thank you. If you got any any thing from this video, hit that like button and comment below, subscribe. It really helps my channel out for me to reach more people with this awesome information. Thank you.